Good morning. How is everybody today? I just realized that light's really bright in the background, so it's probably gonna be a little weird, but that is what it is. My camera gives me a little bit of a shadow. You can tell I am totally not a ring light person. Yay. Okay. So what have we got going today? While we're waiting for people to arrive, if you are watching this later, please hit subscribe and the little bell icon. It really does help the algorithm. Today is, I apologize for the coffee pot. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, and it is 5:53 in the morning. Yay. We are in the tide of preparation between fall equinox and the winter solstice. I would love it if you DM me, instant messenger me, put a little note underneath the videos if you're enjoying them or if something strikes you as really cool or inspiring. Again, your comments, your input really does help. I do go through and look at comments later, so if you want to add things, please do. So today we're going to do the whale. Desire to delve deeper, profound peace. Oops, don't want to have my whale upside down. Desire to delve deeper, profound peace, ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine force of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. When in balance, calm, steady, and deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy, slips into old stories. To bring into balance, regular self-care. Interestingly enough, when I pulled this card, I also went to open the book, and the book just opened to this page. So I didn't even have to look for the page. So I thought it was kind of cool. Represents profound emotional health and stability, linked to feminine forces of compassion and communication. I wouldn't mind to have a little bit of whale personality. I wouldn't complain to have a little bit of that. Okay. So now we're going to look at our others. And this card is YauYos. YauYos. Honor the abilities and experiences of others, whilst also fully owning and affirming your particular skills and understanding. Seek to nourish and be nourished by divinely seeded talents within you and around you, for they are wrought into expression through a combination of human effort and spiritual grace, and each is valuable in its own way. Commitment and discipline to develop and express a talent can be a profound offering in service to the greater good. In giving generously of yourself whilst retaining respect for your innate value, you can and will attract generous support. In return, although it may arise through unexpected channels, and in receiving, your current sphere of knowledge and influence can expand. Choose your collaborators with care and wisdom, and the co-creators which eventuate can be an expression of divine grace. In order to live with wisdom, there will be times when we need information, guidance, and support from those who have experience in realms that we do not yet understand, or that are simply outside our visual field or usual field of interest or exploration. Every piece of sacred puzzle of life contributes to the greater picture of coming together. Each piece plays a role and contains its value. And when we need to grasp the great vision, we need to place a number of pieces together. There is much that you have accomplished and will continue to through your own merit, devotion, dedication, and creative resourcefulness. There are also others who, along with yourself, will find the next stage of fruition occurs through the joining together of your respective puzzle pieces. During the time of the Inca, the YauYos people, I know I'm saying that wrong and I apologize, of the coastal mountain regions of Lima, Peru, collaborated with the Inca, offering training and performance, specialized medical procedures in return for various benefits. The oracle encourages the development of your unique skills, particularly those that may not yet be understood or practiced in the mainstream. They set you apart, and the skills you develop can become a means through which you gain support, nourishment, empowerment in how you navigate the world and provide for yourself. I think this is really important. I really feel, interestingly, as I'm reading this, you know, I've had some experiences recently where I've had discussions and people go, wow, you know about that too, or wow, you know about that too. And I think it's a surprise because many times when people experience or learn things, they stay in that niche. Like that's what they do. And I know that I've encountered it my whole life, you know, people who have become very knowledgeable about their thing and maybe a hobby. I belong to a hobby that's very medieval reenactment-y type, and even people that I encounter in that hobby, their expertise has a tendency to be very niche. And I have had where life has, as though I am on a sailing ship and I have gone around the world and I have landed at every port of call, and every port of call something's wrong with my ship and I have to fix it. And so I've learned how to not just sail, but I've learned to fix the main masthead. I have learned to fix a rudder or clean out the bilge or repair the sails, or there's a whole set of terminology. I don't want to go down into the weeds with that, but and then every time I land somewhere I have to learn a new language and I have to learn a new culture, and it is as though my life has given me many opportunities to learn things that most people kind of don't. And that's kind of out of the ordinary. But the other side of that is I know that there are people who have had that happen too, but they don't feel like they can share their knowing. They don't feel like they can share their experience. And I think that's sad. I think that we all have things that we can contribute outside of a narrow lane of what people perceive you to be knowledgeable about. So, I mean, I taught education, and as much as I am pretty awful with citations, I'm a fairly good writer. I'm not a great writer, but I'm an okay writer. I think one of my friends from my past would probably say I'm a terrible grammar person, but I have good ideas. And so I specialized in something that people didn't specialize in. And then I'm an artist, and I have been a leader in many things. And I went into healthcare and became knowledgeable about a subject that 10 years ago wasn't a popular subject to know about, and now it's important to know about it. So today's cards, I think, are pretty cool in circling back around with the idea that, delve deeper, profound peace, ancient wisdom, emotional health, emotional stability, and the card of bring your talents to your community. Really connect in. Connect in with those. Allow people to know what you know. I am a lifelong learner. I was actually telling somebody yesterday, I don't know what it is not to take something and then explore more until I no longer feel the need to explore it. And sometimes that's in little hops, skips, and jumps, and sometimes it's going to the bottom of the well, all the way to the bottom of the well, as far as I can possibly go with the resources that I have. I do think it's really important that we learn to share our knowing and learn to share our experiences. I grew up with a man who was a carpenter and a craftsman in woodworking for a hobby. So I grew up knowing about power tools and how to build things and how things should be constructed. And I'm not going to go out and build a house. I'm not. I've thought about building a bardo, but I'm not going to go build a house. I have the knowledge, but I don't want to. So if I wanted a house, I'm going to go to somebody who knows how to build a house. And then I'm going to inquire the different tools and techniques they use. And I'm going to ask questions about how technology has changed building. And I'm going to delve into the curiosity stream of how that's changed in the last 40 years and why, and because I can. And because of my biotoxin and mold experience and working with people with CIRS and working with remediators and advocating for people with that over the years, I'm definitely going to ask questions that maybe most people who would build a house aren't going to ask, because I have questions. I have questions on whether or not the architect and the designer and the builder are up on their knowledge of how toxic mold can affect and how materials can affect people's health. So I'm not going to build my own house just because I know how to run a skill saw and just because I know how to do some things. I'm gonna trust the community, but I'm also going to gather people around me that have that knowledge and that expertise and are also lifelong learners and want to further their field and want to make the world a better place. So I think these are really good cards for today to remind me that, we all have something, and we all have something we can contribute, and we all have something we can share. And maybe you're the person who has the knowledge about the biology or the chemistry or the knowledge of human behavior, or maybe you know about chemicals, maybe you know about engineering, maybe you know about computer programming or marketing or math or whatever it is. You can contribute that to your community, and people need that. We all need each other and our expertise and our knowingness to make the world better in a balanced way. And I think our political system, I don't usually talk about politics, but I'm going to throw that out here. I think our politics and our political system is filled with people who are experts in politics. And that might be a problem. I think that we might have a problem of tipping the boat too far in one direction, and it's going to take on water and sink. I'm not so sure that politicians should be lifelong politicians. I think all citizens need to study their government, understand how their government works, and I think I know that there's a lot of things in politics, but I'm going to make a correlation. There's a country right now that's at war. that every single citizen in their country is required to serve in their military. And I challenge that the United States could learn from that. Instead of every citizen becoming a part of the military, every citizen should have the opportunity, if they should so desire, to be involved in local government or state government, and each citizen be a part of how things are run, so that we all have the opportunity to understand how to better the process. And it could be anything. It could be library. Library is a government service. It's something that communities offer for free to each other. It could be sanitation. It could be building a building. It could be landscaping. It could be anything. The cities and local governments need all the same institutional, they all need services. But that's my piece. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow in prayer. Blessed be.